how are you different now after having that time with the rehab and everything else?
I think I'm more different as a person than I am a baseball
Okay.
player. I've added this changeup, which I think is a good pitch, and it's really helps me against lefties, which is I've struggled with more than righties.
Right.
But other than adding that pitch, I think I've just grown and learned to appreciate the game and appreciate relationships and the people that have been there for me, because I mean, just going through injury and missing a full year of the thing you love to do, and I've never had any injuries my whole career, so I've never missed time playing, and just going through that, I think I've just really grown up and matured and just kind of taken each day one at a time and gone through the journey and its ups and downs, and now I just feel like coming to the ballpark every day and being in a bullpen, I just really just enjoy it.
How are we going, mates? Welcome back to the Top Step, presented by Warrior Injury Law. If you're injured, contact attorney Rob Edens at 253-WARRIOR. Battle tested. All right, we've got a great show for you this week. What do the Mariners do once Miller and Gilbert, once they come back? They're pretty close. Is it a six-man rotation? Maybe. We're going to cover that. Plus, I sit down with Mariners reliever Matt Brash, one of the nastiest dudes on the planet, just on the mound, of course. You'll see. He's a good dude. We kind of vibe over a few things. Maybe Canada and Australia have something in common. We'll see if he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But first, listen, if you're loving the show, go subscribe over at the Top Step TV. Like the channel, check out all the extra content, full-length interviews, and join the TTS community all season long. All right, listen, before we do, I do want to address this. Had a little bit of drama last week. I know I addressed it on social media, but love you guys. If you're watching this show, you're a fan of the Top Step. That means you're part of the TTS community. Love you guys. I appreciate your support over on social media. All right, let's get into it. This week's Eyes on the M starts right now, brought to you by King LASIK. Hey, mates, if you're ready for freedom from hassling with glasses and contacts, do what I did. Go to King LASIK. Best decision I ever made. For my eyes, the procedure was easy and it was over in under 15 minutes. Start with a free Zoom consult at kinglasik.com. Okay, the Mariners have some decisions to make with their rotation. By the way, it's been pretty good of late, right? That's what makes this so hard. Look, there's been talk lately. Should the Mariners go with a six-man rotation? Not just as a fill-in, but maybe as a regular thing. Especially when Bryce Miller's coming back. We know about some of the struggles he's had, obviously, with injuries. Look, at first glance, yeah, it kind of makes sense, right? Bryce Miller's been on the IL, so has Logan Gilbert. Both had some arm stuff, so it's a significant thing. But when he comes back, you want him fresh. You don't want to throw him straight into 95 pitches and hope for the best. A six-man rotation gives him a little bit more runway. Yes, all that is true. In fact, you can even piggyback him if you wanted to. Maybe start with on a 3 or 4 inning plan and pair him with a long guy or maybe one of the other starters. Whatever you want to do. Eases him into it, keeps him on that track. I like that. And then there's Logan Evans. Look, he's been really good. Young arm. He's been getting better and better every start, in my opinion. He looks composed, sharp. If you keep a six-man going, you can keep running him out there without bumping anyone out. Let's be honest. If he keeps doing what he's doing, that could be a serious boost, like a real impact. And you know what? I still feel like he's going to have some contribution later on the season. Injuries do happen, knock on wood. And the bonus of a six-man setup, the extra day, the rest, suddenly Gilbert, Castillo, Wu, they're coming into starts a little bit more recovered. You're not panicked at pitch 85. You can let them stretch out into the 6th, 7th, maybe even the 8th. If the pitch counts, it's clean. There's no big high leverage situations, high stress pitches early on. Saves your bullpen as well. It gives your starters a chance to really take over games. But this is where I'm kind of leaning towards, and I've thought about this a lot. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on all that. Okay, because routine matters. Ask any veteran starter, especially your top guys. There's a rhythm to 5 days. It's built into everything they do. Recovery day, pen day, lift day, start day. You stretch that out to 6 days plus an off day. Now you're looking at almost a week between starts. It's not ideal. Guys can lose their feel, that's for sure. Now, long term, when you're talking about arm injuries, hey, have at it. If you want to have a situation where guys only pitch once a week, that's fine. But for guys who are so used to their current routine, that can really mess him up. The timing, the mental sharpness, it can dip. You risk taking a guy who's rolling and just slowing him down. And here's another thing. let's say it's a big series against the Astros or whoever you're facing. Someone you're chasing, call it the Texas Rangers. Who knows? You're trying to put them out. You got to get your best guys on the mound. That's for sure, right? You have a Logan at the beginning of a series, and all of a sudden Wu pops up. So there's some of this stuff to consider. You don't want to push guys back. Gilbert's sitting, Castillo's not there, or whatever. Then you got to roll on Logan Evans out the last game of the series. Nothing against Logan, but man, you're talking having Brian Wu or Logan Evans. It doesn't sit right with me sometimes. I'm telling you, when you start talking about all this extra rest, those are the dudes you want out there as often as possible. They're your tone setters. They win you series. They want the ball in their hands. Now, look, the Mariners staff is going to do a phenomenal job managing health. They've got every metric under the sun. I remember talking to some of the trainers about day after, arm stress, recovery window, sleep, workload. So I don't think you need to go 6-man to protect guys. You can mix and match when you need to, right? Maybe start Evans, Logan Evans or Emerson Hancock once this rotation gets back to the regular 5. Maybe use a piggyback with Miller for a few weeks, but full-time or a long-term solution, or all of a sudden in the middle of a season, and then you're going to revert back to a 5-man, man, you risk messing with a good thing when these guys are in a rhythm. But look, this is one of the best rotations when they are healthy. We know that. They're starting to get into a nice little rhythm. Then you get Miller back, and then George Kirby just come back. You've got depth. Keep that depth in AAA. You're going to need it. But you've also got the horses. Let's run them out there. Keep their rhythm. Let them lead. With all that being said, what do you think? Is it a 6-man rotation? Do you think Logan Evans or an Emerson Hancock is enough to where you're comfortable not having a Woo out there at the end of a series? Let me know. Hit me up at the Top Step TV on social media. I'd love to hear from you. Is this the solution to get into October healthy? I don't know. I just don't like messing with some of the rhythm we're talking about. All right, that was Eyes on the M's, brought to you by King LASIK. Coming up, Matt Brash. I sit down with him and we go deep. I even quiz him a little bit on Australia, Canada. Stick around right here on the Top Step.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Sean, who was rear-ended in a car accident.
They're just easy to work with. They're fast. I like the fact that he had military service. I can see a lot of Marine in Rob. He's very in charge, really gets things done. But I didn't have to do anything. He offered me a settlement, and I remember I had a number in my head was nearly double that. I would refer absolutely anybody to Rob.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Olympic Hot Tubs Honoring Heroes event raised $25,800 for Alliance for Education.
I'm pleased to present them with this check.
This means so much to us, knowing that we have allies in the community like Don who care so much about creating a public education system that's quality to make the city of Seattle the quality city that we all want to live in.
I'm so honored to partner with Olympic Hot Tub, who does so much for our community. Do what my wife and I did and take your family's wellness to the next level with a soak, sauna, plunge, or swim from Olympic Hot Tub.
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
Welcome to the San Juan Seltzer interview. I have got one of my favorite guys to watch pitch, not just in a Mariners uniform. I'm talking around Major League Baseball. It's Matt Brash. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's awesome, man. Hey, we're trying to do this in Chicago, and the reason I wanted to do that is because that's where you made your debut.
Yeah.
Right? And you were a different Matt Brash back then.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
You going to that field, does that bring back memories of your debut?
Yeah, I had some guys ask, I think like Bryce was asking me, and it just feels like so long ago that I didn't really, it didn't really bring too much back.
Yeah.
And I didn't throw in Chicago, so I didn't get that feeling of being back on that mound. But, I mean, there's certain things you remember, like that walk from the bus in the locker room, and I do remember like the training room and the weight room and all that, but it just seems, I know it's not that long ago, but I feel like I've come so far since then, like going through the injury and like everything, that it seems like that was a long time ago.
I mean, you were a different guy back then.
Yeah.
And I want to get into something, you coming up, and all of a sudden you kind of went viral, like even online too, with like, because you pitches you throw. But even back then, I mean, you made a pretty quick rise to the big leagues, and this was stardom Matt Brash back then. So if you can think back to then, obviously there's so many things different, but going back, talk to me about that version of Matt Brash getting a chance to pitch in the big leagues.
I mean, yeah, that I was starting, which is such a different mentality and such a different routine and like almost different personality when you're a starter. But I mean, like you said, I went through the minors pretty fast, so I didn't have a ton of innings in pro ball with COVID happening too, kind of right when the year after I got drafted. So I went through the minors pretty quick, and then I was thrown into it right away, but I felt I was ready for it. But then once you get to the big league level, it just, everything hits you in it.
Can you explain, you talked about different, obviously, mentality, because I've been there too, man, bullpen starting.
Yeah.
Can you explain, because you're so prominent now in regards to stuff and led the league in appearances a couple years ago. Talk us through what's the difference in mentality?
I mean, as a reliever, I almost feel like I'm a position player. So like every day I come to the ballpark and I feel like I have a chance to impact the game and be in the game. When you're a starter, obviously you have your day and you're locked in, and that's your day and you control the game. But the other days I just felt like sometimes I knew I wasn't going to get in the game, so I'm not as like locked in, or I'm not as into the game as I am now, being down in the bullpen. Like I'm warming up the same time every game. I'm doing my routine, everything. I'm watching closely. I'm paying attention to the hitters. I'm everything. So it's just so different, like coming to the field, knowing I have a chance to like do my thing on the mound. I really like that aspect.
Dude, I struggled, man. Starting was like, you do well. It's like the days in between. You kind of want to just sit back. Like obviously you want to get your work and everything, but you want to sort of live in that moment as long as you can. But man, when you suck, and there was plenty of those for me where I sucked. It's like, man, those 4 or 5 days in between
just eats at you.
Just eats at you. Did you feel that?
I especially like. I only started 5 games, but my first 2 were pretty good. And then I had 2 bad ones in a row, and it's just like you said, you just kind of like sit on that. It's so hard to flush it and focus on the next one. You just kind of you watch the outing over and over, and you just wondering what you did wrong. And I think being in the bullpen now, if you have a bad one, and you could be in there the next day, and you just forget it, and you kind of go and do your thing, and it is what it is. So it is like you got to learn how to like. That flush it mentality is a real thing. Like you got to be able to move on from
big
that.
time. I one of the best things I ever heard early on for me was just treat it like you're coming out of the bullpen. Because I was like, I had to worry about conserving, my pitch count. I'd look up, I'm like 40 pitches, it's the second inning. And I'm like, oh, what if I run out of gas by the 4th, And obviously I wasn't just, you were max effort, just nitro stuff. For me, it was like I had to throw 4 pitches. I better throw 3 of them for a strike or I'm screwed. All these things. And then when I had a bullpen coach say, hey, man, just take it. Go into the game like you're just throwing an inning. If you get another one, you get another one, you get another one.
Yeah. I mean, I had guys like just watching guys like Verlander, some of these other big names. It seems like they kind of pace themselves, and when they need it, they amp it up. But I was never that pitcher, kind of like what you said. Like I'm coming in throwing my best stuff right away, and then I would see as the game went on, my velo would dip a little bit, and my stuff wouldn't be quite as sharp. So, I mean, watching some of our guys now, like Wu and like Logan, like all of them, I feel like they start at a point and their velo stays the same, their stuff stays the same, which is really hard to do. And I think that's why they're so good, because they're from the first inning to like the 6th or 7th, like they're still pumping the same stuff.
When you going back to that, and I keep talking about when you first made your debut, when you were sent down, what did the Mariners say to you, and what was it? I'm trying to remember back. Was it right then? Did you go back and start in AAA, or were they like, hey, listen, we like you now, we're going to try you out in the bullpen?
It was trying to remember. I don't remember exactly what they said, but they definitely they told me either you can go down to the minors and you can still start, and maybe if a spot if someone gets hurt or something, we'll bring you back up, but there's no guarantee that you pitch in the big leagues again. Or they're like, or we could move you to the bullpen, and we think you could be really good there, get called back up in a month, pitch in the big leagues. And I was like, just put me in the pen, see where it goes. Like I want to I knew I could compete at the big league level, and however I needed to do that to get back there, I was going to do. And
You just wanted to get right back.
I wanted to just get back to the big leagues. Like, I knew I had the stuff, and I'd shown it, and it was just, I had some stuff to clean up. I changed up. I used to go over the head full windup.
That's right.
With no one on,
that.
and I would end up spraying the ball, and then from the stretch, I used to have my hands really high up,
Gotcha.
and I would show like digging for my like slider because I really have to dig in. I was tipping guys. Hitters on second could see it in my glove and realize. So it's some stuff that you don't worry about in the minors, and then you get to the big leagues. It's like these guys, like they plan for you, they prep for you. Like I had to clean up some stuff, so I changed my windup, and then my velo ticked up a little bit in the bullpen. Just everything kind of clicked from there.
Hey mates, April was Olympic Hot Tubs Honoring Heroes event. It was a massive success. My good friends over at Olympic donated $25,800 to Alliance for Education. That is so awesome and will make such a big impact by supporting kids, teachers, and schools in our community. Thank you, Don and Olympic Hot Tub. All right, let's get back to Matt Brash. Now, before you even got to the big leagues, you know, all of a sudden people started identifying this guy who was down in the minor leagues, which just had electric stuff. But I remember, you know, back in the day, now I never had stuff like you, period, but there was always that thing, it's like, okay, how do I separate myself? I'm in A-ball, I'm trying to separate myself to get to that next level, and you're watching guys above you. And for you, all of a sudden it got identified pretty quick that this stuff is like the top 1%, right? Especially those breaking balls, curveball, slider. And so you're looking at that. At what point for you did you sort of identify saying, hey man, I've actually got these breaking balls which are weapons, which are just straight separators from everyone else I'm in the pack with in the minor leagues, guys you're competing against?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I've always been able to spin the ball. Like, I've thrown a curveball my whole life. The slider came in college. Obviously, it wasn't what it is now. I throw it more low 80s, but I always was able to throw like this big sweeper or whatever. And then I got drafted to the Padres, and it was kind of the same as it was in college. And then COVID happened. I went home, and I didn't play for a full year. And I just trained and worked out, and I got a lot stronger, and then my velo started to tick up. Once my velo ticked up, I feel like I started throwing these harder sweepers, like these mid-80 to like upper 80s ones, and that's when and then I got traded to the Mariners, and they told me pretty quick that you need to throw this pitch more, and like they're very good at telling you, like, it's like the action score stuff, like seeing how your pitches in the minors compared to big league level pitches, and my slider graded out very well. So I was. Do you remember who they threw some names at you in regards to comparisons? They would just show you like the best big league starters and relievers, their stuff, and then how your stuff compared to them. And like they didn't really give me comps what my slider looked like, because I think mine was kind of unique because I was throwing like a harder sweeper than a lot of guys threw. But they would just show me some like the best starters like Garrett Cole and Scherzer, and they'd show me their action scores and what they do well. And like they didn't have the greatest action scores, but they do other things right, their location, and they compete and do all this. But it was just like, I think they did that to instill confidence in you. Like, I knew my slider was good, but I didn't know how good. And then they kept saying like, hey, you need to throw this pitch this percentage of the time. It's really good. And that's kind of when I realized it was good, was that in 2021. What's some of the worst advice you've ever gotten? And you can even get, it doesn't have to be pro ball. I'm talking that you can go back and go, God, man, I'm so happy I didn't listen to that. Well, I can't believe I listened to that. No, I feel like it was more, I had some people try to change my mechanics when I first got drafted, and they didn't like the way I threw, and they wanted me, because I'm a smaller, like kind of fast twitch, like that's how I throw it, is I get down the mound fast, I'm explosive and do all that. I had people telling me like, hey, you got to be at least 200 pounds if you want to throw upper 90s. You got to like load more into your back hip, and I'm not a mechanics guy. I'm not like some of our starters really like dive into that stuff and like focus on that. Like, I've never thought about mechanics. I've always just been natural, get down the mound fast, throw hard, trust your stuff. So you were just, and not to cut away here, but you just, your whole thing is leg kick and then boom, straight down the mound as quick as I can. Yeah, it's kind of, so I went to college at Niagara, and we didn't like, it's a D1, but it's a smaller program and all that, and I was very fortunate going there because no one tried to change me. I came in as a freshman, they let me do my thing, and it's always been just leg kick and go. I don't think about anything. I just get down the mound fast and throw my best stuff, attack the zone. Like, I don't think about anything like that, which I think helps me a lot because I want a free mind, just go rip stuff.
Absolutely. Do you remember? So you said loading into the back leg. Anything else mechanically that you remember? Like anything that's kind of like, this is a complete eyewash, waste of time?
Well, I mean, I tried, like, there's that, you know that device that some guys like put around their waist and it's like attached, like, guys have me doing that. And like, at the time I was still throwing hard. I was still like 3 to 5. Yeah. And I started doing that. I was throwing like 88, 89, like, and I felt awful. And they're like, no, like, you have to do this. And we're going to gain weight and you're going to sit in your back hip and do it. I don't remember anything else because I didn't believe it. I knew, like, I just needed to get a spot where guys like believed in me and like let me do my thing, and that's kind of when I got to the Mariners, and that's when everything kind of.
By the way, this is reminding me of something. I was actually at Driveline the day, I want to say you hit triple digits, and they had like a celebration there. Like they had little, you know, I don't know if you know this or not, but they had like cupcakes and stuff they were celebrating because they were trying to get like some extra velo out of you. I don't know what the plan was when you were at Driveline. Yeah. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, I did Driveline couple off seasons now ago. It was more, at this point I was already throwing hard, like upper 9, so I wasn't really too focused on velo. We would do like some pull downs and stuff like that, but I more went there for pitch design stuff and kind of revamp my arsenal. But I mean, that was a whole nother experience. I never done anything like that. Like growing up in Canada, it was more like I'm throwing into a net, I'm training on my own at like a public gym. So
hey, I grew up in Australia, man, I get it. Totally.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the facilities like I don't have back home, so I went to Arizona for the off season. Like I want to try something where there's other big league pitchers and guys that can give me more feedback. So it was a great experience, and like I said, I'm just trying to learn stuff and
explain to people. They hear pitch design all the time, right? What goes into a pitch design session, and how does that work?
Well, it's more you sit down before you even start working with them or throwing or doing whatever, and you see what you think or what they think would help add to your arsenal. And for me at the time, I was a starter. And they wanted me to throw a cutter just because my four seam doesn't have a ton of ride, and I didn't throw a sinker at the time. And I always spin the ball well, so they thought I'd be able to throw like a little cutter that would help against lefties. And you kind of analyze that, and they have all the analytics and stuff. I've never been super into that either. So,
are you into it now, or still just want to fly down the mountain and whatever?
I know my shapes and I know what's good, but I don't look at like pitch access or like the really specific ones. We have guys I trust here, like Trent Blank, like our pitching coordinator, and like those guys, like they're awesome. They know all that. And I asked them, like, how's this looking? They're like, you're right on track for what you need to do. And I'm like, okay. So I just more look at it as like a checkpoint, especially going through rehab. Looking like, where's my slider at? Where's my sinker at? And then starting to throw this change up a little more. So I dived into that a little more than other pitches, but I try to keep it just simple and kind of know where I'm at.
See life better with perfect, clear, natural vision from King LASIK.
Being a former professional athlete, I still love staying active. From paddleboarding, snowboarding, even playing with the kids, everything was such a hassle dealing with glasses and contacts. I'm so grateful to Dr. King and King LASIK. It's amazing how much better I see life.
I'm Dr. Joseph King. Let's free your eyes from the hassle of glasses and dirty contacts.
Schedule your free consult at kinglasik.com. King LASIK. See life better.
Olympic Hot Tubs Honoring Heroes event raised $25,800 for Alliance for Education.
I'm pleased to present them with this check.
This means so much to us, knowing that we have allies in the community like Don, who care so much about creating a public education system that's quality to make the city of Seattle the quality city that we all want to live in.
I'm so honored to partner with Olympic Hot Tub, who does so much for our community. Do what my wife and I did and take your family's wellness to the next level with a soak, sauna, plunge, or swim from Olympic Hot Tub.
I'm attorney Rob Iddens, proud Marine Corps veteran and owner of Warrior Injury Law. We help all types of injury victims, like Alex. At just 16, she suffered trauma after a broadside collision with a delivery truck.
When I came in, they were so nice. They were just like, don't worry about anything. We'll take care of that. It's gonna be okay. Live your high school life. We got your back. And they did. I would recommend Rob because they have a passion for caring for people.
If you've been injured, call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
Top Step is presented by Warrior Injury Law. If you're injured, contact attorney Rob Iddens at 253-WARRIOR. Battle tested. All right, let's get back to Matt Brash. Now, before I let you go and get back to doing what you're supposed to be doing here on the field, I am from Australia. You're from Canada. All right? We actually have quite a bit in common. I don't know if you realize that or not. So this is going to be the How to Speak Australian, brought to you by the Kangaroo and Kiwi. Now, what's the biggest thing we have in common? In your
Canadians and Australians?
Yeah, what do you got?
I don't know. I feel like
we're part of the monarchy. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, yeah, I guess that. I get that, and I feel like we all have unique accents.
That's true.
Guys always.
Don't bring up the accent. I copped it a couple days ago about my accent before recording this from a radio host about my accent. So I want to steer clear of that. But we do have the Commonwealth Games. Okay. Now, was this a big deal with you growing up? Because it's a massive deal in Australia. Because Australia dominates the Commonwealth Games.
Really? No, I don't even know that much about it. Really.
It's our version. Like we compete at the Olympics. We do well at the Olympics. But we're kind of like, way down there on the totem pole in regards to dominance. But look, the Commonwealth Games. I need to ask you this.
Yeah.
Who has more gold medals at the Commonwealth Games? Not the Olympics. No one cares about the Olympics. Who has more gold medals, Australia or Canada?
I don't know, the way you're talking, it kind of sounds like Australia.
We dominate, all right? We're like double. We're like 1,000+ gold medals. You guys have like 500. That's it. So we absolutely dominate. I'm going to ask you this. Which one has, geography question, which one has the largest land mass, Canada or Australia?
I mean, Australia is its own
continent.
Its own continent, but I mean, I'm going to say you guys, but I feel like I'm going to go with Australia.
It's actually Canada.
It is
Canada. I'm kind of offended. You're not a big Commonwealth Games fan? You didn't tune in and watch it as a kid? You kidding?
No.
This is huge in Australia because we dominate.
I just feel like growing up it's more like the hockey, like the World Junior stuff. I don't know, but
I get it. No, it's all good. I'm not offended. It's all good. Matt Brash, has been awesome, man.
Yes.
Thanks for spending the time.
Yeah,
Everyone, the Mariners community loves you. We're stoked to have you back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.